Dude, I did that, and that was like probably the first month where I started making like 6 figures. There was months where I had like over $500,000 in profit. If you make something unique, it's always gonna perform better than something you live.
Hey guys, just want to say a quick thank you to our sponsors, not just Adam, but Rainbow, of course. If you haven't already, grab your copy of The Paper Call Revolution, which you can find on Amazon now.
What's going on, everyone? I got a very special guest here, a Top Dog affiliate, Denny's Gonchard. Thank you for joining me, my man.
Yeah.
Appreciate you for being here, brother. So, why don't you tell everyone, how'd you get started in the affiliate space?
Man, it's actually kind of a crazy story. So back in 2016, I want to say. So by the way, I didn't know what affiliate was whatsoever. Had no idea. So I kind of was always trying to start different businesses, you know, kind of be entrepreneurial mindset. But I had like a full-time job, obviously, at the time, so couldn't really do it.
What'd you use
I was a business banker for Bank of America.
Okay, nice.
So full-time job, corporate. So basically, but I had this idea basically to start an app to help people make money through referrals, right? So I was working on it, doing a lot of research, obviously. And one day I like come across this website, it's called Lendkey, and they did the student loan refinancing. Very legit website. So, and then I see like they had like this link on the bottom, it says refer a friend, right? So I clicked on it, and basically what they were doing, they were paying people, and it was like a link, you can have your own link basically, affiliate link basically. And you, they'll pay you like basically like they pay $50 for approved application, and then $200 when the loan books, right? So I'm like, okay, dude, this looks good for what I'm trying to do. And then also, I don't know how, one day out of the blue, I had this just wild idea that I'm gonna put that link in actually Bing search at the time. Again, didn't know what the fuck affiliate marketing was. So, and I also had like a free credit, $100 credit. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm just gonna spend it. Who cares, whatever happens, right? And I went, actually, funny enough, I also went on Google and tried to find their ads and just copied the text. Spying, essentially. Didn't know what the hell I was doing. Whatever, launched this campaign. Basically, like, wake up the next day, it printed $1,200.
What?
Dude, yeah.
Did you say the full $100?
100. I can't make this shit up. No tracking, nothing. I didn't know what the fuck affiliate marketing was. I'm like, wow, money glitch, you know? So, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna deposit another $100. Deposit another $100, print another 1,000. I'm like, dude, I'm the smartest person in the room. I'm like, I've struck gold, that's it. So then obviously campaign like died. No tracking, didn't know what I was doing. But around the same time, I'm like calling my friend who lived in San Diego at the time. And we're just chatting, shooting shit, catching up. And I'm telling him about this thing, right? And he's like, yeah, bro, it sounds like you're doing affiliate marketing. I'm like, wait, there's an industry? I was like dumbfounded. I'm like, wait, so I'm not the smartest guy? Like, it's actually like a thing. I was like, yeah, bro, I'm actually, funny enough, he was actually in the industry. He was media buying for one of the affiliates out in San Diego. So happened to be, I didn't even know what he was doing too. And he's like, bro, that's crazy. Like, where do I learn more? And he's like, well, there's this forum, STM. I'm like, okay, cool. So then, went on that forum, obviously, information overload. I'm like, screw the app I was trying to build. This is cool, I like this. So, started doing it, lost a ton of money, like straight up, like in credit card debt. So
Like how much?
like 50 grand. Yeah. That's doing that almost like 2 years on the side. So
You're pouring your salary back in.
Yeah. like, but I'm like, dude, I'm like determined to make it work because it's like, man, I want to say it's like an intuition thing almost. It just felt
You knew it was
right.
gonna
I don't know, it just felt right, man. And I just like kind of just didn't give a fuck. I'm just gonna keep going until it breaks. Then I went to like Affiliate Summit West, actually. That was like my first one, 2016, I think, 2017, something like that. And then one day I ran into an old friend of mine And I guess like, she's like, oh, I still follow you like on Instagram or Facebook or something. And she's like, I saw you went to this event. Like my husband is actually like in the industry. I'm like, oh shit, that's crazy. You know, what a coincidence, right? Literally ran into each other on the street. So her husband was actually John Fishburne, Jason Applebaum's partner.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and we started just hanging out, awesome guys, you know, became really good friends. Like nothing.
You were in Florida too, right?
Huh?
You lived in Florida at this time?
Yeah. So, and after like we were just straight up hanging out as friends. I wasn't like doing any media buying for them or anything. I was just kind of like maybe doing a little like affiliate stuff on the side, still going deeper into that.
Yeah.
And then one day, dude, I was just kind of like fed up with corporate world. So I just literally, it's mid-afternoon, I just got up, pulled my chair, walked out of my office, closed the door, didn't say a word to anyone, walked the fuck out. Like it was actually a self-sabotage thing. So I never have to go back to the to corporate world ever again. I'm like, I killed my resume, right? Like 3 years of reputation I've been building with Bank of America, that's it, done. Bye. So, and then like next day I was hanging out with them and they're like, well, I guess we'll see you at the office, you know, just give it a crack. So that's kind of how it started. And, you know, Pete Cal was also like working with them. So me and Pete started like basically, he's actually the one who taught me like a lot of media buying. I'm like, props to this guy, like just an awesome freaking person all around.
That's awesome.
And a good friend of mine. So then, and I was freaking determined, right? Like, I mean, there's like no campaigns. I was just trying to like figure out things on my own, you know. I think I was doing like a little bit of like pop unders at first, and then I was like, nah, I'm gonna try Facebook. And I was literally like there at the office like 6 a.m. till like 9 p.m. just straight up laser focused. Okay, I'm gonna make this work. I think 2 months passed by, and I had this crazy idea to reverse engineer. So I was basically like, guys, so what's the landing page that's worked for you guys like forever, right? Right? Because like back then, like people mostly ran landing pages, so like long form, like very, very, very long editorial. They're like, oh, this one, like it ran, like we spent millions of dollars on it. Just, you know, we just changed the headline and header image, but everything else text is the same. I'm like, interesting. And that was like for, I think, brain supplement or something. So I'm like, okay, what if I take this page and make minimum edits to it to keep the structure the same, right? Because it converts for a reason. And I'm gonna rewrite it for like a gadget product. Dude, I did that and it just fucking started slamming, like printing money. Like that month, like that was like probably the first month where I started making like 6 figures. Like total net profit was over 6 figures. So 6 figures basically, yeah.
This is only a few months after you quit.
Literally, yeah.
Cool. So you probably made close to your salary that you made in banking in 1 month.
In 1 month, yeah. So then they're like, oh, you just got lucky, you're crazy. Like this is like probably like a glitch. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna rewrite again, but for a different product. So I did that, and you know what? Honestly, like, again, like it's psychology was always like a thing of mine. Like I'm huge in psychology, always love to analyze things and just kind of like reverse engineer things. So and that was basically I reverse engineered the whole like copywriting principles by looking at those landing pages and trying to create mind maps basically for my own self to understand why it works, right? And it came down to basically this like summarized like outline almost and structure that I follow to this day. So then I, again, like rewrote it for multiple products. Me and Pete were also like basically like going back and forth. We'll brainstorm all the time on like different angles and stuff, you know. It was fun. And then, yeah, so that's basically how it kind of started. And yeah, that's the start of it. Oh, and then I think we started making like a mini VSLs because Pete had this idea, like what if we make it into like what if we take this long form like page, right? Take this actual structure, like psychological pattern, right? And what if we make it into a video, right? And we tested it, it worked like even better. Dude, like multiple 6 figures a month like in profit. So we're like, hell yeah, we're gonna do that now. So that's how we started basically doing all the VSL stuff and gadgets and then from there on, I think there was a lot of like solar. And then in 2020, I actually got into DeFi space. And I had really, really, really good runs in DeFi, like nothing like affiliate marketing. Um, and I wanted to go and do it full time, basically. Like I wanted to start like maybe like a DeFi project or something. So that's when I kind of like disjoined like John and Jason and like went to do that.
Yeah.
And then a couple months later, I think I missed affiliate marketing. So I'm like, well, I'm just gonna start my operation, I guess. And I started just slamming refi super hard. That was back when interest rates were like next to nothing. Everyone wanted to refi, you know? So yeah, refi was a huge run. And then I was doing a lot of debt and loans. Loans was also a huge one. I mean, that was like, it was like, there was months where I had like, man, over $500,000 in profit, like month back to back.
And this is how many years into your?
I mean, that was 2022 already, but I mean,
like 4 or 5 solid years in.
That was 5 solid years running at scale, basically, like almost consistently, basically. I mean, obviously, there's always up and down. Anyone who's going to tell you they're lying. There's never consistency.
It's not the moon.
But there would always come up really good offers, you know, and I just knew how to play the creative part, you know, like using like the kind of same psychological kind of like funnel that I had built out of my head. And also knew how to scale Facebook.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and that's one thing after another. I mean, and then end of 2023, I went a full circle and I started running, VSLs basically again. And it's a lot like less maintenance, if you would, than lead gen, because lead gen, I mean, sometimes like that, you know, there's always a cap, then you got to rotate offers when you got capped out, like, you know, then there is also quality lead gen, like, so like you got to like play that.
It's a different game.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of like business for sure. And VSLs, I mean, the beauty of it is that it can run for a while and it can run at scale. Like if there's scale, again, like if there is scale somewhere that's consistent, more or less at least, I mean, they burn out eventually, but it's not gonna be like, oh, like you ran something for a week or two and, you know, it's done. You know, it's like, we're talking about like months and months.
And just so everyone understands that's listening, VSL traditionally means a video sales letter used often that's created by the buyer, usually.
Typically, yes. So, but what I do, my system is kind of like, again, using the same kind of like mini VSLs that I was creating before, like 6 to 10 minutes, something like that. So using the same thing, except so it's the same structure actually, but the ending is different. Instead of the offer portion where you actually present the offer, I present, oh, there's a presentation, you know, you have to watch this.
So you're putting a mini VSL in front of a VSL. And the mini VSL is the ad.
Yeah. But it's, again, follows the same psychological formula that I'm going to build out. So, yeah, I think that's, long story short.
Have you found success building this ad style and using it for lead gen or pay per call?
Yeah. Oh, big time. Like, I mean, almost, I want to say like solar is definitely like was really good for like the mini, like 2-minute VSLs basically, you know. But with lead gen, I mean, you can't really like come up with a lot of angles. It's always like save money, you know? So you just kind of like keep beating around the same bush almost, where with like whether it's VSLs or gadgets, you can definitely get your creativity going, you know, tell a story. It's like a lot more long form.
What do you enjoy the most about selling through VSLs? Like what's interesting besides the money? What do you find so interesting about it?
Well, it's again the outlet of creativity. You can come up with so many different angles, you know, and make it into this like mini video basically, you know, but you can just it just lets your creativity roam free. You know, you're not limited. So again, you just keep coming up with the angles. I love that. Like that's one thing I freaking love, is just coming up with new angles, making it into like that kind of like psychological, almost like a video outline and making it work.
Why do you think so many people struggle when they first start trying to sell Nutra or VSL offers?
High payout probably, and as you know, it's a relationship business, right? you like most people get into it, I don't without starting on the relationship part. You know, they're just kind of join the network and they're trying to come up with the best out, rip the out, whatever. But in reality of things, you really have to work with very closely with the network or offer owner. And if it's a network, preferably the one that owns an offer. And then there's no broken phone, you know, and there's a lot better communication. They know you, you know them, so that, like you can basically talk to them without like.
What, by having those relationships, what are some specific ways it's made your life better or like your business work better?
Man, friends, I love this guy. So listen, I'll take the shirt off my back for most of these guys that I met through the industry. It's cool because we all have the same psychology almost, right? The whole like risk tolerance, right? The creativity part, you know, those are the two at least. You know, the whole like also like technical aspect of like, you know, okay, I have to like do media by this way. So it's, if you look at it on the like grand scheme of things, everyone has very similar personalities, and that's why everyone gets along really well, I think. And you obviously grow into like friendships naturally, you know, because like I said, like now it's like a massive group of friends that I have that I see maybe like a few times a year, yes, but I'll talk to them a lot online, you know, and I can honestly talk to them about anything, you know. And it's also like if I crack something, I love to go and share with people because I know some people like, okay, you crack something, you know, just keep it to yourself, right? I'm not about that because it proved so many times that the more you give, the more it comes back to you. You know, it just tried and true.
So I personally know a lot of guys in this industry that have given you credit for being the person that's helped them.
Yeah.
Can you share? Okay, I know, no, it's real, man. Can you share someone that comes to your mind that you helped and now you see it not paying dividends necessarily, but you see that person now completely change their life, for example?
Well, I never even thought about it, to be honest. So like off the top of my head, no, but like it's always like little things that I try to share with people, and I can see it like it definitely makes them money and it helps them, right? So like I'll give you an example. Like back in 2020 or 2021, I started doing commenting monetization, right? So basically, like it's as simple as replying to comments with the actual affiliate link, but through like obviously through software.
Yeah.
And I was like, first of all, I got nauseous because when I realized how much revenue I've lost in the past years not doing that, bro, like nauseous. Because it's literally extra $500,000 for free a year, like just back in your pocket. So, and then I started telling guys, and I was like, dude, you have to. I'm not losing anything, right? Like, do this, and your CPM, CPC is gonna go cheaper, right? Because you filter into comments, you actually having like a meaningful engagement, what Facebook likes to call.
Do you still do this today?
Oh yeah. So but the funny thing is, it's sometimes like I even have like a freaking Google Doc that I would send to people, but it's funny, you know, like you can always give people a playbook, but they'll do something different, just a little bit different, you know, and it's like no, just follow, just do this way, like, and it'll work, trust me. So I've seen that help a lot of guys for sure. So yeah, if that answers your question, that's definitely one of the examples.
So aside from the relationship thing, where else do you see a lot of affiliates like hit a wall when they're trying to get their first campaign going?
There's a lot of walls to hit. I mean, but I think the biggest wall is not socializing enough and trying to do it yourself. Again, going back to like the fact that this is more networking business than any other business out there. Well, I don't know any other business, but for sure, like you gotta build like almost like a community, right? And that's what I like. You asked me, like I was saying, like all the friends that like we have, right? It's a support community, like a support group, right? Because like when somebody's like struggles, like somebody helps somebody else, you know, like, and everyone helps each other. And I freaking love that. And yeah,
It's cool, man.
I think that's so. To answer your question, somebody like starting off, yeah, go out there and don't be afraid to talk to people. Like whether it's here or at the Egyptian bar or Chandelier bar, you
Or
know,
all of them.
or all of them at the same time. So yeah, definitely go get yourself out there. You know, I think also a lot of guys trying to do it themselves, kind of like I did, and it is smart to go and media buy for somebody. You know, just like use their money, gain some knowledge from them. You know, again, being in that support circle. If you don't have your own like that community support group, right? And like you'll get a lot further faster that way than if you're trying to like hit those walls yourself and like trying to break through them. It's gonna be slower, you know. But that's definitely like a big advice.
On the technical side, what are some tips you have for affiliates? Like, let's say they have good relationships, they get good feedback loops from the buyers, they get higher payouts. On the technical side of the performance, like obviously like scripting or copywriting more so than clicking buttons, what are some tips you have there?
Well, don't send traffic to a dead link, number one. I think we're all done it.
We've all done that.
Yeah. Bro, there's so many things.
What moves the outcome the most for you?
Creative. It's always going to be the creative. And, you know, I know there's a lot of people that just go like on rip and run stuff. I've never been about that. First of all, I generally enjoy the creative process, but that's besides the point. If you make something unique, you almost always, it's always going to perform better than something you rip, you know? And like, to the point of ripping too, right? Don't go and rip like something that somebody else is running, but what I love to do is look at it and like people say, like it's an inspiration, right? So research what's working out there, take bits and pieces from it that are working, and then make it better and put it into your own. And that 100% of the time works better for me at least. So like, it's like you don't have to sit down and like do everything from scratch, you know, reinventing the wheel, but you can even take, let's say an example, right? So you're running solar, right? Go check any other like homeowner niche verticals and creatives that are working, because if it's working for that, like let's say Windows or whatever, you know, it might work for solar also. So like just get angles from everywhere, like kind of collect that information. Good thing is just what's called copyboarding basically. You know, you just take sentences or ideas, you put them all on one board, and then you actually piece it into something that's more presentable. So.
What are you most excited about today in this space?
So many things to get excited, man. I mean, I think a lot of guys are moving in the right direction by building a business around their companies. I think it's super important because you're not just going from one campaign to another. You know, it's like starting over and over again. Because that's just when they're done it. You know, it's actually big key is a lot of guys, where they're very smart is they're building businesses around it, you know, whether it's calls, you know, or host and post, or just partnering with somebody who maybe like one of the things that I've been doing today, for example, and having meetings about, like, I know the creative side, so media buying side, but I don't know the offer building side, right, or processing side or whatever. So I've been having a lot of meetings with those guys to potentially partner with them. Because they're pros at what they do, I'm pro at what I do, but let's get married, you know, kind of thing. So, yeah, definitely, I think partnerships is a big one. And then also, again, having a long-term vision to build a business into something that you can potentially exit and sell. I think that's where I see a lot of guys growing towards. And I think it's just props to them, to be honest. I mean, we all know them.
Who's had the biggest impact on you?
Who's had the biggest impact? Kid Kel, for sure. I freaking love that guy. Like his mindset, he's two things that he taught me is actually media buying on Facebook and how to scale the fuck out of shit. And then mindset, because you gotta have the right mindset. And that guy's just like freaking stellar on that.
It's cool. Yeah. Any advice you have for affiliates that are starting out, or even people that have been in the space for a while?
Again, I mean, never stop networking, you know, stay frugal. I think that's a big one because I've seen people like make a ton of money and they think it's never gonna end and they crash and burn, you know.
I've heard this. a
So
lot.
it's like, don't go popping bottles. It's not gonna improve your life. Invest in, you know, appreciating assets for sure. That's definitely a big one because like even if you look at it during those low times, you know, that's something that's gonna like fit the mouth in the meantime, you know, if you're not actually like, having like consistency all the time. So, and then also, yeah, never stop networking and actually build a business around it. You know, like again, I've seen a lot of guys like use EOS system and I've never heard a single person say that thing, you know, they all swear by it. I mean, I'm sure you've heard all of them probably testify to it. So.
Cool, my man. Well, thank you for joining me, brother.
Thank you for the interview, man.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.